So I was making a video on Zom 100 basically talking about how its main character, Akira, has no game. But while I was recording it, I really thought to myself, you know, deep down, even with just these 4 episodes, this show is actually really inspiring. And I think a lot of people could take this message and actually benefit their own lives. That message is that if you're in a situation in life that you are not happy with, you do not have to stay in that situation. Before I dive too deep into the message, I should probably real quick tell you what Zom 100 is. I would tell you to go watch the other video, but that video is donkey butt, so I'm not gonna tell you to go watch it. Hell, I don't even know if it's still gonna be up by the time this video's up. Zom 100 is a show about Akira, a 24-year-old man who for the past 3 years has worked at an exploitive production company and has basically wasted his life. Countless all-nighters, he basically only ate ramen, he didn't get to hang out with friends, had no time for a love life, and was abused heavily at that job. The one thing he had to hold on to was his crush, a woman that he found beautiful that he thought maybe one day that he might be lucky enough to take her out on a date. Oh no, not my boy. Oh no. This is the one joke that I'm keeping from that original video, because I think it's funny. Maybe it's not, but I'm keeping it in here. One day, Akira wakes up and he finds that the world has gone to complete shit. Zombies everywhere, planes are burning, and he feels one thing: complete and utter joy. He feels ecstatic. He doesn't have to go to work anymore. He doesn't have to pull an all-nighter, and he can eat more than just ramen. He starts jumping. He starts screaming. He crushes some zombies after falling down in a fall that he probably should have died, but it's okay because there was a tree. He is crazy happy. With this newfound happiness, he decides, I am going to admit that I like my crush, even though she is my boss's mistress, but she'll be happier with me. So he goes to her apartment in a kind of creepy fashion. He knocks on the door and boom, he finds the zombified boss, and he says, you know what, boss, I quit. And he tackles that zombie and throws it out the window. Bro should have been a linebacker. I don't know football, so I don't know if linebacker was the right word, but we're gonna pretend that it was. Sadly though, Akira finds that his crush has died and has turned into a zombie. He confesses to the zombified woman anyway, and then he leaves for good. He then decides that he's gonna create a list of 100 things to do before his death in the apocalypse. And this video is already almost longer than the original one I made, which tells you a lot about that original video. Now, with everything I've just told you, you might still be wondering, how is this inspiring? Should we be inspired to pray for a zombie apocalypse so that our problems go away? No. If you still don't understand it, I should probably bring up a few things that happened within the first 4 episodes. In episode 2, Akira finally meets his neighbors that he never had the time to talk to. And in a couple hours, he comes back to try to spend time with them, and they're dead. He missed an opportunity to have a good relationship with his neighbors just because he decided that his job was more important. In episode 3, he tries contacting a lot of people he used to know just to realize they might be dead, and he might never see them ever again. He got extremely lucky with his friend Kensho, who was still alive, but all of his other friends are most likely dead in this new world. Hell, he's not even sure if his family is alive, and that's why it's his goal to set out and find them. Of course, after enjoying himself a little bit. And lastly, in episode 4, he has a conversation with a woman who has also had a similar experience as a flight attendant, in that she feels she wasted 3 years of her life working a job that she didn't really enjoy. Small little mistake I made there. The girl didn't hate her job, she just was really questioning if it's what she really wanted to do, until at the end where she realizes that it really is her dream, which actually pushes Akira to figure out what his own dream is. Really powerful moment, and I'm kind of stupid for messing that up. Now, if you still don't understand what makes this inspiring, probably because I'm a terrible commentator, let me explain it. The reason this is so inspiring is because Akira is a character who had this image in his head that there was a job he wanted and it was going to be perfect. He thought he'd be spending time with friends every day. He thought he'd be getting women. He thought he'd be having such an amazing time working at a production company, just to find the harsh reality that it's not all puppies and rainbows. And it's basically the exact opposite. For 3 years, he never had one good day, and it was all spent trying to deal with this abusive company. And it took practically the end of the world for him to realize that he doesn't have to put up with that. If the apocalypse never started, he would have kept that job for multiple years and maybe even just died from it. He had this idea in his head that this was the only job he'd ever have and that it was too late to find another one, and he just had to stick through it. And I know for a fact there are some people in this world who have that same mindset, that they can't do anything else with their life and that they're just stuck where they are. And the one thing I'll say to you is, don't let that mindset stay in your mind. Doesn't matter how old you are or where you are in life, it is never too late to try to strive for something that you want. You might not be able to have the most glamorous life that you imagine, but you can at least find yourself in a comfortable and happy state. If you don't enjoy something, you don't have to put up with it. You don't like a job, you don't have to keep it. This applies for practically everything else in life. You do not have to stay stationary. You can expand your horizons, go through new experiences, and try to find something that genuinely makes you happy. And don't feel guilty for leaving a job, because realistically, if that job wanted to fire you, they'd do it in a heartbeat. So you shouldn't feel upset or responsible for what happens after you quit. So don't be like Akira Tendo and wait for the end of the world to find happiness. Find happiness where you are right now. And if you have to leave stuff behind, so be it.